it's actually defined by context. If your environment requires that you apply emotional intelligence and it will be appropriate, a certain context will be appropriate for your environment, it's your responsibility to actually choose the dimension. So it's a tool in our hands where we can diagnose whether the leader is actually demonstrating those kind of behaviors, which contextually are supposed to be demonstrated in that environment, in that context. If you are able to balance both, you are able to actually sort of look at the environment that you are in, the context, in a form of an ecosystem. The ecosystem requires a certain attributes that needs to be demonstrated by the leader. So those attributes actually results in what? It actually results in people co-creating, is it not so? It also results in people communicating better, but it also results in people being able to coexist for the benefit of that ecosystem. So the issue of being a boss, of being always telling people, it's no longer there. What it requires all of us to come up with the decisions that will make the ecosystem to work in a proper way. So, up and above that, there is also the ego intelligence versus eco-intelligence. So there are attributes that actually goes into them. So I'll quickly go into that because it's something that needs us to have a balance between the two to get the maximum benefit of making sure that the ecosystem, which is the workplace, which is in your church, which is anywhere where you can display your leadership, for it to be able to have a sustainable way where the coming generation can be able to get it. Remember in the morning, they were talking about counseling and whatnot, but they were saying, what legacy are you going to leave? If we are a generation of leaders who are only egotistic, but not eco, but who are ego intelligent, but who are not eco-intelligent, who will make what we have contributed disappear, because we have to, at all costs, leave a legacy for other people to really improve on what we have done, or alternatively to actually use that as a base, but as a solid base, and make sure that the ecosystem is more nourished, it's more moving us forward, it's not contaminated. Look at the climate issues. The communication is so clear that there is no, we are not tripping each other, okay? And HR doesn't have to come there and mediate because everybody else knows what is that they have to do. Okay, and then here is that already what has been already expressed in the other 10 was that the emotional intelligence is very important. So I've actually outlined some of the things that are required, which I've gone into my research and find that these are the dimensions that are important for anybody to express and to show the emotional intelligence. These are not off the shelf. It's actually in my experience of doing the work. It's things that I've seen other leaders, including our own very Mandela, have demonstrated in making sure that these abilities are expressed every time. Okay, so what is important is that the eco-intelligent leader, this is what they do. basically. These are the aspects that they do in terms of when they show up. This is how they show up. Okay? So I'll give you time to take photos in terms of that. And then it ties in nicely with your emotional intelligence. Up and being emotional intelligence, you also express those kind of attributes. Okay? And then the attributes of eco-intelligence. Remember, I said there's a paradox here. The ego intelligence is also required for what? For results basis. Remember, we want the results. We want to produce this. So we want them. That is required. But a matured and intelligent leader will be able, which one do I use in this context? Without using either or. So all the time, the context or the dynamics at play will actually make them be able to see which are the attributes I need to be coming in and expressing here that will resolve the situation. Okay. And then the outcomes of balancing all that, even though these are clearly things that are already out there, but the ego intelligence versus the eco-intelligence is that that person will actually come with their darkness and their light. Right? We all have that. Is it not so? We all have that. Then it means you are rocking up, you are showing up in your truest form. Right? If you have to know me, you also have to know me, my dark side. Because we are the light as much as we are the dark. And if there is no darkness, we won't see the light. So these are the paradoxes and these are the dualities about our behavior. Sometimes the environments are contaminated because we want to appear perfect. There is nobody perfect. You cannot be authentic if you want to be perfect. Show your vulnerability, show your dark side, show your light. This is how we have arrived here. We have arrived here through women by force. You didn't arrive in a smart way and ended up. It's force. But you were created by what? You were created by love in a manner that was beautiful, which was wonderful. So the dichotomies apply in any environment. Don't be afraid. The workplace is also like that. It's like an ecosystem. Sometimes it's hot, sometimes it's cold, sometimes it's lukewarm. So your abilities is to say, now it's hot. What are the hot issues? Let me do a 360 and say, this is what I suspect is happening, and let those issues be elevated. Then what we'll end up with, what kind of an environment are we going to end up with? We will end up with this kind of an environment. Is it not so? So that is my piece.